Alright, this video won't take long because this team doesn't even have a name. They are just Washington. They are just a football team. This football team went to the playoffs and nearly knocked off Tampa Bay, the defending Super Bowl champions now. And they did that without a quarterback, basically a quarterback they created in Madden, generic white quarterback. So they look to improve on their 7-9 record. This team is basically a quarterback away from being contenders. Of course, they need a wide receiver too, but they're essentially a quarterback away. 30th in the league in offense. Not good for a team that nearly knocked off the Super Bowl champions. 25th passing the ball. They don't have a quarterback. 26th running the ball. Antonio Gibson it looks like a great running back. They'll just need to accentuate his talents. But we will get to that because I'm their armchair GM today. Second in the NFL in defense. This is how they got to where they were last season. Second against the pass, 14th against the run. They have all first-round picks on their defensive line, probably the best defensive line in football. And they can improve on that a little bit. I feel like their linebacker play might have been lacking a little bit. Landon Collins was out with an Achilles injury, and he's their run stopper. General manager Martin Mayhew. This is his first year as a GM. He's a former player, played cornerback. He was on their championship team, their Super Bowl championship team, was it 1989 or 1990? A lot of experience with a lot of different teams in personnel and administration, that sort of thing. It could work out, but we'll see because this is his first year. We'll see how he drafts compared to how I draft. Got to stay tuned for that. Head coach Ron Rivera. Everybody knows Ron Rivera. A lot of success with the Panthers. Took them to the Super Bowl. He brought a lot of people with him. Like his offensive coordinator is Scott Turner. This is Norv Turner's son, who's a former head coach for the Washington team. But he was the quarterback's coach in Carolina. Ron Rivera gave him a chance last season. Obviously, it was not great, but they did not have a quarterback. We'll get to their quarterback situation. Defensive coordinator Jack Del Rio, fantastic defensive coordinator. Great defenses everywhere he's gone, whether it's the Jaguars or Broncos. So it's no surprise that their defense is so good. Cap space, $41.5 million. That's probably going to go up a little bit. They're going to make some cuts. They're fine as far as cap space. They don't have a lot of free agents to re-sign. Brandon Sheriff, they just tagged him. This is not going to last. With the tag, they owe him $18 million for one season. That's not going to happen. You can't pay Brandon Sheriff $18 million to play guard. It's not going to happen. So what do they do with Sheriff? Probably extend him. Yeah, I mean, you have to extend him. You can't pay him $18 million. Alex Smith is gone. They're not interested in bringing Alex Smith back. They tendered Kyle Allen to be the backup. He's not going to be the starter. He is going to be a solid backup. And Kyle Allen goes back to the Carolina Panthers days. I think that's why he's there. Ronald Darby, they have to sign him. They had him last year on a very cheap prove-it deal. He proved himself. Again, this team is second against the pass. You have to keep Ronald Darby and pay him well. Keep him happy. Keep that secondary happy. Cam Sims is just a big-body wide receiver. Their wide receivers were not good outside of Terry McLaurin. Everyone knows they have to help out Terry McLaurin, who could be one of the best receivers in the league. He's consistently leading the league in yards after catch. Get someone to take some pressure off of him. It's not Cam Sims. Ryan Kerrigan, this might break a lot of fans' hearts because he's been with the team so long, so important to the team. I think he probably leads the league all-time in sacks. He played out of position for most of his career. He's a defensive end, but they played 3-4, so he's an outside linebacker. Now they're playing 4-3, and his age is catching up to him, and they don't have a spot for him. So Kerrigan is probably going to retire. We'll see, but I don't think they're going to bring him back. Kevin Pierre-Louis, they should probably try and keep him because he was very good in coverage as a linebacker, and they need that in a 4-3 defense. He shouldn't be that expensive. Give him $3 million, maybe. Reuben Foster, they're just going to let him walk. He never worked, it didn't pan out, unfortunately, for for them. Fortunately for my Giants, he did not work out. He can't get on the field, injuries. Sprinkled, I mean, their tight end position didn't offer them really anything this season. I think we're going to address that in the draft. Spoiler alert. Can they make any cuts to clear cap space? Landon Collins is probably the biggest liability as far as contracts go, especially with his Achilles injury. They don't know if he's coming back 100%. They can't cut him because he would be due $18 million dead cap space. There's no way out this season. Next season, maybe the dead cap would be $9 million. But he's due about $16 million every year through 2024. So that's a rough contract for Washington. Even when he was with the Giants, we saw him more as a linebacker. I mean, he was never good in coverage. Problem is Cam Curl played very well, and he's going to need to stay on the field. A lot of teams are using 3 safeties in a lot of sets, and I think Jack Del Rio is one of those people who likes to have 3 safeties on the field. I think he's going to get creative with Landon Collins, so you want to keep him, but, geez, you're going to have to restructure that. If you could cut him, I'd say cut him, but that's not an option. Team's biggest needs, quarterback and wide receiver. It's the offense. You're probably going to have to add offensive linemen to that. They're going to have to shuffle the offensive line a little bit. That Moses at right tackle is very solid. Sheriff, they're going to have to extend him because that one year, $18 million is not okay. Their center is very good. Oh, boy, who did they draft? Sadiq Charles, I think, could be very good if they give him an opportunity. I don't know if he'll play tackle or guard. His size says guard, so maybe they'll move Sadiq Charles to guard. Going to have to do a little something in the draft, possibly in free agency to pick up a left tackle. But free agents to really pursue, the top one is Marcus Mariota to play quarterback. Washington tried to trade the Raiders for him last year, and they couldn't work out a deal. Mariota's only 27 years old. He played fantastic in his limited opportunity last season. I thought the Raiders would have rolled with him for the rest of the season. Mariota is a very solid option. Give him maybe a 3-year deal. Since he's only 27 years old. Second free agent to go after, Curtis Samuel. Makes all the sense in the world. His ties to Ron Rivera and Scott Turner. It just makes sense. They need this type of weapon. He was great picking up third downs. Just as solid as they come. It's someone that the defense has to worry about. That'll free up McLaurin. They have to be the front runners for Curtis Samuel. Notable draft picks. This is the fun part. They have the 19th overall pick because they decided to mess around and go to the playoffs over the Giants. All right, what are you going to do? At 19, you're not getting your quarterback. They're not available, and I've run a lot of simulations. Not available. A standout wide receiver is not available at 19. Not one that I think is worth the 19th overall pick. So here I have you going with Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, the best cover linebacker in the draft. I mean, he could play strong safety. He can play the nickel corner, but he's also great at getting at the quarterback. So it's just too much talent to pass up at 19th overall. Second round, I could see you going for the best available offensive lineman. Trey Smith I like because he can play tackle or guard, left or right. Same thing with an Alex Leatherwood or Elijah Vera-Tucker. My other scenario would be going Elijah Vera-Tucker in the first round. But second round, get yourself Trey Smith at this spot, or Alex Leatherwood if he's available. Third round, now you can get the most elite wide receiver available. That would probably be Tylan Wallace. The others, again, I don't see how they could fall to the third round. But Tylan Wallace is a difference maker. Starter week 1. You have another pick at 82 overall. Brevin Jordan, because not only do you need a weapon, you need a tight end, and this is one of the best receiving tight ends. Hunter Long is also another option, but I would go with Brevin Jordan. Fourth round. Now this is interesting. I don't think Kellen Mond is going to fall to the fourth round. In this scenario, he did. You might have to use a third round pick on him, but I think Kellen Mond is the type of quarterback that Washington can draft. Let him sit a year. maybe 2 years, and you could really have something. And the rest of the draft, fill out with depth at linebacker, safety, corner. Bright future for Washington. Just get yourself a new owner, get yourself a name, and sky's the limit.
Hot! Hot, hot, hot!